Namaste, beautiful. Welcome to practice. This practice is going to be focused on soothing the back in a rather gentle and less deep way than I usually do. So specifically, it's geared toward people who do more manual labor or heavy lifting or more strengthening stuff without so much stretching stuff. And so people who are a little bit less frequent in their stretching and less mobile in their bodies. That said, it may also be helpful for anyone who is experiencing back pain. It was sparked by somebody who asked me about back pain for the reasons that I just said, that they are someone who does landscaping and powerlifting. And so this question was asked maybe a week and a half ago. And I said, okay, I'll channel it. And I have been for the past week and a half. I have been. And so that said, first, I just want to say that if you want to get to the practice instead of listening to the rest of my backstory about why I made this and what came to my mind, then you can go ahead and skip to the next chapter where we go to centering and then we get into the practice. If you care more about the backstory, I do feel like telling you a little bit about what went through my mind this morning as I was thinking about making this video. Well, so first, a couple of days after the question, then my menstruation started. And during my menstruation, then that's when I do the least amount of flexibility stuff in general, but specifically for my back. And that's because my back doesn't want to do that during that time. It doesn't want to go as deep as it can, for example, today, where I'm closer to ovulation than I am to that. Which means that in my body right now, my estrogen is higher. And in my body, during my menstruation, then my testosterone is higher. And so I think it was day one, I was just kind of lying, preparing for my practice, and this started coming to my mind, and I started thinking about, okay, I think that there must be some kind of relationship between this instance of the testosterone being higher and the tightness in the back. That's why it's coming to me, I'm pretty sure. And so then that got me thinking more about masculinity versus femininity. And so then this morning I was thinking that, and I want to be careful now when I talk about masculinity and femininity. I'm not talking about men and women. I'm not talking about male and female. I'm talking about energetically, and I'm talking about hormonally. So I was thinking about so in myself, I do really enjoy to do stronger practices. And I know that that brings up my testosterone. And I have to be careful about that. And I have to make sure that I am also getting in touch with my feminine side and being flowier. And sometimes, and in the past couple of weeks, I wasn't doing quite as much of the feminine flowier stuff as I was with the harder stuff. And a big part of that is because it is so It is so hot that I wasn't practicing twice a day. I was practicing only the once in the morning. And even though I was still doing some flowier stuff in the morning, it was more masculine stuff. And so in the past couple of days, I've been making sure to take time in the afternoon to be flowier, to dance more, to connect with my feminine more. And so this morning when I was thinking about what I wanted to do for this class, then I thought that actually what I want to do is to be getting in touch with the feminine more. No matter what our sex or gender is, to be getting in touch with the feminine more for the purpose of being flowier and for the purpose of relaxing. I think that the instance of having a lot of this masculinity is very much related to feeling the need to be strong always and be a protector always for oneself and for others around them. And I'm talking about myself too. I'm alone all the time. And I've had some very traumatic things happen to my body. And so there is quite a bit of needing to protect myself within me. That's definitely some of the motivation, or at least at one point in time was some of the motivation behind making my body stronger, maintaining my strength, was to be a protector. And I think it's also important to remember that sometimes we don't need protecting. Like right now, I don't need protecting. I can hear that there's music and I can hear people of all ages around me. Sometimes I can hear the dogs over there, and I do have a fear of dogs because I was bit by one, but they're they cannot get to me. I'm on a roof. Right? So I don't need protecting right now. And so I thought that I would like for us to start this practice by finding a safe space in which we can be held by our surroundings and relax and take a break from the masculinity, and then find some femininity, find some flowing movement in our bodies. And we'll continue to find that more feminine flowing movement throughout the practice, with some instances thrown in there where we again find our strength. And so I think that came to me kind of as this idea of making sure that we remember that we can relax and the strength doesn't go away, that we can surrender a bit and instantly we can move back to that strength and it's still there, it's not going away. Yeah? All right. So to be completely honest, I don't know exactly what we're going to do, but I do have a general idea of it. And I would like for us to start standing. I would like for us to start standing, and then we're going to move down to the mat. And yeah, I don't think it's going to be very long. I probably already talked for 10 minutes, so unfortunately, that means it might look like it's going to be longer than it actually is when I post it and people see the time. That's why I always put the length of the practice in the title when I can, because sometimes I talk for a long time. Because I think that the energy behind the practice is important. It's important to me, and maybe it's important to other people, so I share it. Okay, before I continue talking for too long, let's go ahead and center. So you can be facing actually either way on your mat. It's not really a big, so I'll stay in the center. I'll stay facing you for the centering part. We're gonna be closing our eyes anyway, so it doesn't really matter. All right, so let's stand, and you can either have your big, you know what? Let's not have the big toes together. I changed my mind. Let's stand so that our feet are about hip width distance apart. And then before you close down the eyes, just go ahead and feel into the floor. So feel your toes gripping the floor, feel the balls of your feet into the floor, feel the sides of your feet into the floor. Maybe depending on the arch of your feet, you can feel the arches. I can't feel the arches. Feel your heels into the floor. Just feel yourself grounded into the floor or the ground. And use that to remind yourself of this grounding that always exists, right? You're always being held by the ground. You don't need to hold yourself up. You're not floating. You're always being held by the ground. And you know what you're also being held by? This gravity, right? I mean, yeah, sure, we stand up because of our muscles to some degree, because of our balance to some degree, but there are forces that we can't see that are holding us up. And so I want us to really connect to that once we close our eyes and once we get to centering. So once you feel grounded in the floor, let's take our hands and let's bring them to heart center. And if you feel comfortable, and I encourage you to find a place that you do feel comfortable, then let's close down the eyes. And let's really focus the energy on surrendering to being held by both the earth, gravity, and the air. Imagine that there are these entities that you cannot see in the air, and those entities are literally holding you up. Can you feel them? They're just holding you there. You don't need to do anything. You can relax. And I want you to do that. So keep the engagement in the feet, but try to relax the rest of the body. It might feel hard. So trying to relax the calves and the shins. Trying to relax the knees. Trying to relax the quads and the hamstrings. Trying to relax the glutes. Trying to relax the abs and the lower back. Trying to relax the chest and the upper back. Trying to relax the arms. You can even start to let them drop. You can keep your hands by heart center if you'd like, but maybe if you want, you can even drop down the hands to the side now. Trying to relax the neck. Trying to relax the face. And if you can, continue to hold here. Breathing deeply through the nose. And just observe how, whether you're concentrating on standing up or not, you're standing there with your eyes closed. You don't need to look at anything. You don't need to focus on standing. You're just standing. Feel these entities holding you. Feel the earth holding you. Know that the earth and so many things that we cannot see are there to protect us at all times. Maybe even more so than we're able to protect ourselves. And I would love it if you could keep your eyes closed as we now continue to move. And also, if you want to open them, you can do that as well. So let's first find some movement in the head. So inhaling to just look up. Well, if your eyes are closed, to move the head back, move the chin up toward the sky, toward the ceiling. Then exhale, bringing the chin toward the chest. Inhale, chin toward the sky. Exhale, chin toward the chest. Inhale, chin to sky. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Start to move it a bit more if you can. Inhaling up, finding the stretch in the neck. Exhale, down, finding the stretch in the back of the neck. Inhale, up, stretching the front of the neck. Exhale, down, stretching the back of the neck. Inhale, up, stretching the front of the neck. Exhale, down, stretching the back. 2 more. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, chin to chest. Last one. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. And bring the head to neutral. And let's find some circles with the head. Continuing to keep your eyes closed if possible. Let's go ahead and circle in one direction. Inhaling as you circle back. And exhaling as you circle forward. Inhale back. Exhale forward. Inhale back. Exhale forward. Inhale back. Exhale forward. One more. Inhale back. Exhale forward. Sorry about the dogs. All right, other direction. Inhale back. Exhale forward. Inhale back. Exhale forward. Inhale back. Exhale forward. 2 more. Inhale back. Exhale forward. Last one. Inhale back. Exhale forward. And coming to neutral. Continuing to keep the eyes closed if possible. And now we're going to find a bit more movement. So we're going to be moving down the spine as we're standing. So now I would like for the movement to move down into the chest. So when you inhale, I want for you to be imagining that you're bringing your heart up toward the ceiling and looking back, bringing your head back slightly. And then exhaling, you're pulling in the abs, contracting the abs, pulling the belly button back to then just bring your chest so that it's a bit more concaved. And then we're going to do it again. So inhale, and you do not need to do the hand movement that I'm doing if you're watching me. And then exhale, pull on the abs, only slightly. So we're trying to move mostly the top part of the back now. So inhaling, lifting the chest, exhaling, rounding. Think about moving the heart here. Inhale, heart comes up. Exhale, heart comes down. Inhale, heart comes up. Exhale, heart comes down. Inhale, heart comes up. Exhale, heart comes down. Inhale, heart up. Exhale, heart down. 3 more, I think. Inhale, heart up. Exhale, heart down. Inhale, heart up. Exhale, heart down. Last one, inhale, heart up. Exhale, heart down. All right, and continue to keep your eyes closed if possible. Now we're going to find a bit more waves in the spine. So we're moving down further toward the back. Ooh, so now as you inhale, then I want you to start to bend your knees a little bit and kind of stick your butt out. So finding more of an arch in the entire back now. And then bend the knees slightly as you come down, and then round and come up. And you can actually inhale and exhale either way here. I kind of switch around how I do it. Sometimes I exhale as I'm arching down, and sometimes I exhale as I'm coming up. So let's kind of do it on our own time. So just arching and coming down, and then rounding and coming up. So just really focusing on the movement of the entire spine here. Focus on the waving. Focus on how the vertebrae are moving. Finding this waving motion that you probably don't find in most of your days, particularly at the gym. I really don't think that you're doing this at the gym. And also maybe it would be a good idea to do it once you finish every day. And continuing with those waves. And let's start to make them bigger. So waving all the way down, maybe even coming down so that you're almost touching the floor. Not quite touching the floor yet, but maybe in a few more we can get all the way down to the floor. And so now also paying attention to the way that it feels in your legs. So maybe you want to stretch some more of your hamstrings. So maybe you want to straighten your legs a little bit before you start to come up. I want you to start getting creative with it, right? Because that is part of this connecting to the feminine, is part of being able to move in a less structured way, being able to be creative more in the movement of your body, not doing it exactly as I'm doing it. And let's see if we can actually start to move side to side now. So we're moving to the right and to the left. You can do your arms like I'm doing, or you can do without the arms. You can start without the arms, and then you can add in the arms. So really just allowing the spine to wave, allowing the spine to move in all the directions. And as you start to move your spine in different directions, then sometimes it will even start to guide you in the directions that it wants to move. And so listen to it. Let it guide you. Or you can do exactly what I'm doing. Whichever you desire. And you can be moving your feet around too, like I'm doing. And I never told you to open your eyes, but you can be opening your eyes if you want now, or you can be closing your eyes. I'm going to close my eyes again. I don't need to be looking at the camera. I know where it is. Yes, yes, yes. So actually, when I am in the time of month when I have the most back pain, this is what I do. When I start to feel that back pain, is I just really start to move it around, and I start to, oh, okay, that's it, that's it, that's where it feels good, that's where it feels good. Because when you just find those intuitive movements, then you realize that your body will find the pain and it will soothe it out if you let it. But if you're just keeping it doing these structured movements all the time, it doesn't have a choice. You're deciding for it, right? Sorry about the bird. So let your body guide you as you move. You can start to move the hips as well here. So what we're doing now is we're moving down the chakras. Normally we would move up the chakras, but we're moving down the chakras now, and then we're gonna go back up at the end. Okay, so you can move the hips, find some movement in the hips, which of course will help to move the lower back as well. You can either take it in, you can take it in circles. So if you're like, oh my gosh, I have no idea what to do, then just go in circles. Or just wave up and down. You can go back and forth. Be sexy with it. You know what to do. We're all adults here. I think. If you don't know what to do, you should probably figure it out. Yeah. You don't need music playing or a partner to move your hips, all right? And the more you do it without music playing or without a partner, then guess what? The better you're gonna be when there is music and there is a partner. I know. Motivating you with the thing that motivates us most in the world. Oh, okay. I think that's good. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the straight spinal waves. You can open your eyes if you want to see what I'm doing now. Also, you can continue to keep your eyes closed. So now we're going to be moving down to the mat. And so you can do that by finding the spinal waves and starting to make them bigger. And let's do 5 more all the way down and then come all the way up, finding and stretching the hamstrings here as well, which of course is related to our back pain very frequently. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Don't bring the head up this time, folding forward if possible. So whatever to like you for you to be doing here is folding the belly over the thighs. And so if that means that your legs are bent, bend your knees. Okay? So I want us finding a stretch here in our hamstrings now that we have kind of warmed up and worked out a little bit. So wherever you need to be with your belly on your thighs, be there. Okay? And now let's energetically work on relaxing the hamstrings. So you can either just be bringing attention to it, or if you want, you can go ahead and you can bring your hands to the hamstrings. Relax, relax. Soothe them out, soothe them out, soothe them out. You can make sounds if you want to. Remember, you can do whatever you want. All right, and now we're going to do what I said, and we're going to remind ourselves that just because we just did that weird feminine stuff, and maybe we normally do more masculine stuff, that does not make us no longer strong. And so I would like for us to move it back to chaturanga however we can. So we'd like to do it in the strongest way that we can. So moving back to chaturanga. Woo! And hold your chaturanga. So holding this position with your arms nice and strong, your abs nice and strong, looking forward, and hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And bring it down to the belly. And then let's take a tiny little cobra here. Or you know what, let's take a Sphinx pose here. So, see what I told you? You're still strong, aren't you? I know. It's almost like I can tell the future. Okay. So, finding our Sphinx here, so just finding a nice small arch in the back, if possible. And now, if we don't have so much mobility in our back, then maybe when we're here, then we're noticing it tighten. So you probably can feel it tighten right around the middle of the back. Do you feel that? Relax it energetically. Did you feel it? So maybe it means relaxing your legs a little bit. You can relax. Just ask your body, okay, how do I relax it? And you can, right? A lot of times in these poses, we're holding tension more than we need to. Okay. So, and let's move the hips back and forth. Moving the hips back and forth here is also a nice way to communicate to the body that it doesn't need to hold so much tension when it's in these kinds of poses. And let's bring the head back down to the mat. And you can take the hands now and place them underneath your chin or underneath your forehead. And then just lie the forehead onto your hands and then move your hips back and forth here. Okay, and I want for us to do some more dynamic, but slowly dynamic baby cobras. So taking the hands so that they are underneath the shoulders, looking forward, placing our chin down to the mat. And then we're gonna, with 4 counts, inhale up as much as you can. And as you inhale, I want you to think about rolling your body backwards, as if you were rolling up your mat. So imagine that you are your mat and you're rolling, 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 rolling. So inhaling as you're rolling. Okay? And then we're going to exhale and come down, and we're going to do it 5 times, maybe 10 times. I'm going to see what it feels like. Okay. Bring the chin back down, and then inhale, roll the head first, and then vertebrae by vertebrae, bring it up, and exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, roll, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. All right, bring that head back down on top of the hands, so the forehead back down on the hands, and once again, move those hips back and forth. Okay. And guess what we're doing now? Why am I doing this to myself? We're going back to chaturanga. I didn't even decide that until just now, but I said it, so we're doing it. All right, let's inhale. We're pushing up this time to chaturanga. 1, 2, 3. Go. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bring it down. And then again, pushing up. Slowly, let's come more into the lower back this time. So before we were in our upper back, now we're in our lower back. And let's exhale, 2, 3, 4. And again, going more into the lower back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Arch, 2, 3, 4, down, 2, 3, 4. 2 more. 2, 3, 4, down, 2, 3, 4. Up, 2, 3, 4, down, 2, 3, 4. And once again, take the hands, place them underneath the forehead, put the forehead down, and rock the hips back and forth. Now, you probably notice an urge to do some kind of forward fold or something that is going to be moving the back in the other direction after you do this. Am I correct? I notice it too. What I have observed in my body is that that is not an urge that needs to be satisfied immediately. And it actually can be more beneficial to observe the urge and do something like this instead versus go immediately into some kind of forward folds. Okay, that said, let's go ahead and push back onto our feet if possible. So taking hero's pose here. And actually, what I would now like for us to do is I would like for us to go up into headstands if we have headstand in our practice, because we just moved down our chakras and down onto the mat. And now if we invert, then we can go the other direction. We can get the energy moving back toward the head, and then we will do some stuff to counter the back bending that we just did. So we'll do a little bit of forward folding, take some pigeons, and then we will do our twists and find our Shavasana. Yeah? Okay, so let's take our headstand. So taking the hands, so if you, I might as well teach headstand if you, so you can take the hands and take them so that your hands are grabbing onto either side of your elbows, and then take the elbows and bring them down, and then from there, then you take your hands and you bring them together, interlace the fingers. If you want, you can then undo the pinkies and put the pinkies so that they're in line, so that then you don't get pain in your pinkies when you put them down on the mat. Put them down on the mat, and then take your head, put it into that space that you just created here. So putting your head there, finding the most top part of your head here. So basically, if you find the right part of your head before you go up, then, especially assuming that you are someone who spends quite a bit of time at the gym, then you most likely can go into headstand. As long as you have this much flexibility that you can straighten your legs to this point, then what you're using is actually your abs now to then bring you up into headstand. And so if you want to watch it one more time, well, you can either rewind it or I can show you. Okay, so here you want to have for your tailbone to be as high up as possible. The higher up that your tailbone is from here, the easier it's going to be to then move up into your headstand. And of course you can also kick, but the proper way is to press from here. Okay, so I'll show you kicking as well, all right? So we can have one leg up and then we simply bring the other one up to meet it. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know if I've ever done that in a really long time. I was like, oh, this was funny. Okay. And then pressing. So then we're bringing, let's hover, right? And then you use the abs, contract, 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 until you find center. And then we hold here, And of course, you can play around with it, or you can totally skip it, or you can just mark it as something that you're working on. Maybe you don't care. Infinite options because we're all individuals, right? But I do really enjoy this as a quick and easy way of moving the energy back up the chakras. So if we want to concentrate on that, we can concentrate on moving the energy from the root, from our tailbone, all the way up to the top of the head. And maybe we even want to give back to the ground. We're allowing that energy to enter the earth through our head. And as it does so, it is this really nice energy. So when it comes from our root, maybe we're getting out some toxicity. But as it exits our head and it enters the earth, it turns into something so wonderful. All right. And let's go ahead and come down. If you want, you can flex the feet and then bring the butt back and then start to bring the feet down. And then about when you can see your toes out of the corner of your eye, if you're looking straight, you can hold it in this pike position, just to remind yourself of your strength again. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and inhale, bring the feet back up to the ceiling, and exhale, bring them back down. All right, now untuck the toes, sit back onto the heels again if possible, draw out the forehead to the mat, take the arms, bring them next to the feet, take the hands next to the feet, and you can find some movement back and forth here, soothing out the shoulders, soothing out the back, soothing out the hips, and just holding our child's pose for a few breaths. I think it's nice to now be in this childlike position after we started from standing. That was kind of my idea, was that we would start standing and then we would move down into this child position. So like reversing our growing up. So we're coming back to this child place. And of course, as children, then we need more protecting. We do find the ability to rely on others for protection, to take care of us, which is the energy that we're looking for here. Okay, and let's reach the hands out in front of us now. Reach them out as far as you can. Waking up, feeling ourselves being reborn. And then let's roll it up. All right, and let's move into our pigeons. So we're not going to go into it in a fancy way. We are just simply going to go into it. So you can find your variation, which can either be that your right foot is toward your left hip, or if you have more mobility and this back leg is touching the floor, you can move such that your foot to your knee is in a parallel line with the top of the mat, and then fold that way. Or if you need a bit more assistance getting to the floor, you can take your block and you can place it underneath your right butt cheek, sit on it on the right side, and then bring the right foot toward the left hip here, and then fold forward. Yeah. So let's find our variations. And folding it forward. And as we fold forward, let us bring our attention back to soothing the back. So really concentrating on releasing any tension that we feel here as we lie in our half pigeons. So releasing tension in the back, and as we release tension in the back, let's go ahead and energetically release the need to always be strong. And I mean that in every way. And so, okay, so sometimes being strong looks different ways, right? But I mean the need to always be exerting strength. That's a better way to say it. So inhaling into any tension that you feel and then exhaling it away. Exhaling away that tension in the body as well as energetic. Sorry about the dog again. And you can hold it for a little bit longer if you would like to, or if you're ready to come up, you can go ahead and inhale up. And let's switch legs. So finding our variation. So either taking the left foot toward the right hip or finding our parallel line between our foot and our knee and the top of the mat, or taking the block and putting it underneath us, sitting onto the block with the left hip and folding forward that way. And let's exhale it forward. Inhaling into any tension that you feel in the body or the mind, the heart. And exhaling it away. Inhaling into tension and exhaling it away. All right, and if you're ready, let's go ahead and inhale it up. And bring the legs together. Let's give them a little shake. Yeah, let's take a forward fold. I had to think about it for a second. So as we forward fold here, then I do want us to continue to think about the idea of bringing the chest down, bringing the belly over the thighs here. So really not rounding, that's going to hurt your back. So what I would like is to be finding the stretch more in the backs of the legs here than in the back so much. And when you do release this tension in the backs of the legs, then it should help with your back pain. So I don't have anything to, so if you need to hold on to something, if you would like to hold something so that you can also just have your hands onto your shins if they cannot reach your feet. Yeah. And so let's go ahead and, with a flat back, work our way down to fold. Not round, but fold. Yeah. And so feeling that stretch, that release in the backs of the legs here. Really trying to be careful of the back, making sure that we're not rounding the back. We're not putting tension in the back as we do this. And we can bring our energy, our energetic attention as well to the releasing of the hamstrings and of the calves. And of the glutes. It's all connected, right? And the more that we connect our mind to our body and we use our mind to release tension, then the better our entire bodies will feel. Really concentrating on relaxing the tension away. All right, and let's bring it up. And we're going to take a couple different kinds of twists here. So first, if it's possible, take a cross-legged position. So it can just be like a simple cross-leg, or you can have your legs down more. You can be in Padmasana if you have the mobility. If it is difficult to sit that way, then you can sit on your block, or you can sit on a pillow, or you can sit in a chair. I just want us to do some twisting here a little bit more dynamically, and then we will do more static on the floor before we find our Shavasana. Okay? All right. So let's inhale, reach the arms up, and then let's exhale, reach the right hand back, the left hand to the right knee, and just pull gently. And inhale, reach the hands up. Exhale, twist gently. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, left hand to right knee. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, right hand to left knee. Pull gently. Inhale, up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, up. Exhale, twist. Inhale. 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 Exhale, twist. Exhale, twist. I was not counting. Let's do two more. Inhale. Exhale, twist. Inhale. Exhale, twist. Last one. Up and twist and up and twist. All right. And let's take our reclined twists and then find our Shavasana. So lying it down onto the mat. And two different options here. So you can either bring both legs up and then drop both legs over to the left and then look over to the right and find your twist there. I find for that one to not be quite deep enough for me, but also depending on your mobility, that might be plenty deep for you. And so what I would like to make sure of is that your right shoulder is completely down to the mat. And if possible, your left knee is touching the floor and your right knee is over it. But if you need to choose one thing to be touching the floor, then try to choose your shoulder, your right shoulder. Okay, so we can have this variation, or alternatively, and if that variation works for you, feel free to just stay there. Alternatively, we can take the right leg up to the chest, lead the left leg straight, and then cross just the right leg over to the left, and then reach the right shoulder back down. And whichever variation that you're in, we're looking over to the right. And whichever variation that we're in, we're breathing into any tension that we feel left over, particularly in the back, and we're exhaling it away. Remembering that twisting is the ultimate way to reset the back, no matter which direction it has moved. Inhale, finding tension, and exhale to release it. And continue to hold if you would like to, otherwise we can come back to center. And you can choose your variation, so either bringing both knees to the chest and then bringing them both over to the right side, bringing your left arm out to the left and looking to the left. Or, if it feels better, you can keep the right leg straight, take the left knee, and draw it over to the right side, and also keeping your left shoulder onto the floor and looking to the left. And again, whichever variation we're in, we're inhaling to find tension in the body and exhaling it away. Inhaling to find tension and exhaling it away. This is nice timing. The sun is starting to glare in my eyes. All right, and let's bring it back to center if we're ready. Take the feet, stretch them out to the corners of the mat. Allow the hands to gently rest next to you. And finding Shavasana. Taking a scan of the body. Relaxing the tips of the toes. Relaxing the knuckles of the toes. Relaxing the tops of the feet. Relaxing the soles of the feet. Relaxing the ankles. Relaxing the calves and the shins. Relaxing the tops of the knees and the backs of the knees. Relaxing the quads and the hamstrings. Relaxing the pelvis. Relaxing the glutes. Relaxing the hips. Relaxing your sex. Relaxing the space below the belly button. Relaxing the lower back. Relaxing the space around the belly button and the belly button. Relaxing the small of your back. Relaxing your sacral chakra, your stomach, and your middle back. Relaxing your chest. Relaxing your ribs and your lungs and your heart. Relaxing your upper back and your back ribs, the back of your lungs, the back of your heart. Relaxing your shoulders. Relaxing the upper arms and the elbows. Relaxing the lower arms and the wrists. Relaxing the palms and the backs of the hands. Relaxing each of the knuckles. Relaxing the fingers. Relaxing your collarbone. Relaxing the front of your neck and the back of your neck. Relaxing your jaw. Relaxing your ears. Relaxing your mouth, your tongue, and your teeth. Relaxing your lips. Relaxing your cheeks and your cheekbones. Relaxing your nose. Relaxing your eyes. Relaxing your eyebrows. Relaxing the space between the eyebrows. Relaxing your forehead. Relaxing the crown of your head. Feeling your body in the state of deep relaxation. And continuing to enjoy it for a few more moments. And take the next inhale a bit deeper. And exhale. Beginning to find a bit of movement in the fingers and the toes, and the wrists and the ankles. Taking your hands and interlacing your fingers and reaching them up over the head. And taking the feet and bringing them together and reaching them the opposite direction of the hands. Let's inhale deeply. And exhale and sigh it out. And when you're ready, go ahead and roll over onto your left side. Using your arm as a pillow underneath your head, continuing to keep the eyes closed if possible. And when you're ready, you can go ahead and come up to a comfortable seated position, continuing to keep your eyes closed if possible. Okay, and taking the hands either to the knees or to heart center. And let's just take a moment here to observe any difference that you may feel in your body, in your energy centers. So bringing attention to if you had back pain, what is the level at now versus when you started? Bringing attention to how hard or soft you feel energetically, to your masculine and feminine energies. Do you feel it was helpful to soften, if this was softening? Just notice anything that comes to mind around the pain and around the balancing of masculine and feminine. Knowing that anything that comes to mind is perfectly fine. No judgment for yourself or from me or toward me, hopefully. And when you're ready, let's go ahead and blink open the eyes. Well, I've done it again. Intended to make a 20 to 30 minute class and filled up a memory card and had to switch the battery. There's a quote. I don't remember who it's by. I'll look it up. And maybe I'll put it in the subtitles or something. And it says that yoga does not take time, it gives time. And I believe that strongly, if you can't tell. Some days when I'm super tired, I will do maybe only 20 to 30 minutes of movement, but those days are very few and far between. And if those days do happen, then I usually do a movement another time in the day as well. I think particularly if we're having some kind of problem in the body, quick fixes are not really what is gonna fix it in most circumstances, in my opinion, and in more in my experience than my opinion. Should call it experience versus opinion. And so I've had suggestions about, oh, make a few minute videos on how to relieve this pain. And if you don't put energy and time into relieving particularly chronic pain, it's not really fair to get upset if it doesn't relieve itself. But when you put in the time and you put in the energy directed to it, So, not saying that you should do this practice every single day after working out or after doing manual labor, but maybe try to do it once a week. And then, you know what? Use different pieces of it throughout the week. It doesn't need to be the entire thing that we just did. I didn't even mean to do that. It just happened. It was just doing what felt right in my heart. And so that's what happened. So yeah, if you're still with me, then maybe you don't even need to hear that because obviously you put in the time. I should put this somewhere in the middle. Anyway, as always, thank you so much for being here with me for allowing me to guide you and for trusting me with so much love. Namaste.